association with careers advice, your experience of sort of careers advice. So let's talk a little bit about schools and the role they play, and connect that with sort of careers, if you can, please.
Yeah, so we know with the Youth Voice Census, more young people are getting careers information, advice and guidance than they were 6 years ago, and it is changing. But it's like lifting the Titanic out of the sea, trying to make sure that every young person in every situation across the country is getting the type of careers information and support that they need. And for one young person, it'll be different to the next, which is why you can't fix this with a simple solution. There's no silver bullet, because some young people just need a bit of mentorship and signposting in the right direction, and they will be able to navigate that world by themselves. And other young people will need regular intervention, regular support, lots of different experiences and exposure to the world of work to really help lift them and to help boost them. Where social mobility plays a factor, that's really prevalent. So my children, and they've had all the gift of having a parent who's well connected to the world of work. They've both had work experience, they get careers advice, and they're supported on their navigation. I write an excellent CV. My kids' CVs are great, right? But it's because I'm their parent. And now my son, and I talk a lot about my son's best friend. He is a young black boy who was in care, and he and Matthew became best friends when they were 12. And this boy, this child who's partly lived in and out of our house over the years, as kids do, as they're moving around and needing to be fed. They always turn up at dinner time, right? If this boy hadn't befriended my son, would he be where he is now, which is second year university actually at Birmingham? And I don't believe that he would. Having the connection to my son allowed him a connection to me, which gifted him a parent in care, if you like, somebody that was going to sponsor him, somebody that was going to support him and make sure that he got the right advice. So really, some schools are doing this really, really well, but it's complicated and it's tough. My son's best friend needed much more intervention, much more support, and a mentor, and someone who'd underwrite his university accommodation, because the care system doesn't do that in year 2. And my son just needed a kick in the right direction, and he was okay. So we can't have one system for all young people. We have to have tailored intervention where young people are at, recognizing where they are at, and helping them take those steps that they need. And it's different for everybody. And that's what makes it really hard and tough out there. But I do think the schools that are doing this well, we're really starting to see that pay off in terms of the trajectory of the children that lead those systems. Okay, so there's better sort of careers advice at schools. What about colleges and sort of independent learning providers? Yeah, it is better and more consistent if you're in a secondary school than in any other setting. And actually, colleges are really trying to catch up, but there is a lot to do because those students are more transient. They might not always be in college at that time when there's careers provision or lectures going on. And it's the same for university students. I know that with some university students, they didn't really recognise where the student careers office was on campus because they hadn't turned up for orientation. They missed that bit of the paperwork, and then they just never engaged with the careers service on campus. So it is down to the individual students to realise that they need those services and to engage with them. And you don't know what you don't know, right? So it's super hard the older and the more freedom there is within the college or the university environment to ensure that consistency.
Canny Conversation Podcast Series 5 by Safaraz Ali.